The agent had a few modifications as well to it. The CPU and memory loads were reduced. Also, the database loads has been reduced. The server itself is now consuming much less memory. We have two new supported license managers, the Altium license manager and NVIDIA license manager. And of course that we had a few bug fixes and all that. So before I move on and install OpenLM, let's do a quick recap on what OpenLM really is. Let's take a look at the configurations of it. So first of all, you got your license server. Now this is something that you already have on your system. You might have 100, 10, or maybe 1 license servers. On each license server, you might have several vendors like MATLAB, Autodesk, CATIA. Now on the license server, we install the OpenLM Broker. This OpenLM Broker talks with the OpenLM core, also known as the OpenLM server. This is on a network server. And if you want to view the data, you simply log on using any device, any connected device. Log on to the Chrome, Firefox, any browser that you use, and just view your data, view all your reports and everything. So the last part is the OpenLM Agent. Now the OpenLM Agent is installed on the workstations themselves, and it talks to the OpenLM core. So the broker is on the license server, it's a license server agent, and the OpenLM Agent is a workstation agent. Both of them talk to the OpenLM core. Now, if you'd like to upgrade to version 4.3 or above, just know that you will need a new license file. You will need to contact sales@openlm.com, and they will be happy to issue you a new and updated license. Okay, so let's jump right in, guys. So what you are seeing here will be our OpenLM server. It will be our network server. I have this machine as well, which will be our license server. And the machine I'm on now, which will be our workstation. So first of all, first things first, we install the OpenLM Broker on the license server so it can track the license manager. So all we need to do is simply take the installation file, double click it, and then you see it's just the next process. Right here I don't want to upgrade, I want to install a new instance of Broker. So next, agree, next. And that's about it. Installing the OpenLM Broker is super easy and it pretty much configures itself. So let's let it finish. Now what we need to do is just write down Broker, and I have many brokers here, but I'm just gonna take the one that we installed now, Broker 6. Just open up the Broker configuration tool, and when it starts up, it says, first of all, OpenLM server is not defined, okay. And I see that it's looking for ports, and it defined 2 different ports on this license manager. Port 600, which is, both of them are FlexLM ports, but one is Autodesk and the other is MATLAB. So it pretty much configures everything for us. What we need to do is configure the OpenLM server. So we go to OpenLM servers right here, add OpenLM server, and it's Win10 demo. This is where we'll install our OpenLM server. click apply, restart broker, and that's it, it's configured. If you want to have your options file be sent to OpenLM, then you need to go here under vendors, you'll need to select the correct options file. Now again, this is optional. You don't have to do it, only if you want the OpenLM system to know about your options file. So I'm just taking the options file, selecting it here, apply, and restart. And that's it. I have everything connected. The broker is sending data to this OpenLM server. It has a license server with this name. This is this machine. And on it, it found 2 ports, one for Autodesk, one for MATLAB. And it pretty much configured everything. It configured to go to the correct LMUtil of Autodesk in all the commands. It configured the debug log. I configured the options file. But you see that it's pretty much automatic. If it doesn't do it, if it doesn't configure everything automatically, so there are a few things that you can do. First of all, under the port, you can set your license file right here, the vendor supplied license file. Under status and data inquiry, you just need to change it so it will point to the LMUtil of the license manager, not to the default OpenLM LMUtil, but the license manager's LMUtil. But anyway, you set here the options file, here you set the debug log, and that's about it. I'm not going to go deeper into it just yet. So what did we do up until now? We just double click the installer, click next, 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 next. This opened up and we pretty much let it do everything on its own. I explained a lot about this and this and that and that, but it pretty much did everything on its own. So that's it. We're done with the license manager. We installed the OpenLM Broker, had it configured automatically. That's it. We move on. So now we move on to the machine that will house our OpenLM server, our core product. So we'll need to install the server Win Core. I just downloaded it from our website. Again, it's a simple click next, 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 next installation. Really simple. It asks for permission a few times. And that's about it. It installs it. Later it will ask for a license file. If you don't have a license file, it can generate a license file for you. It will give you 30 days evaluation, which you can start right away. But I have a license, so all I need to do is simply select the license once it gives me the prompt to do so. So let's give it a moment. There we go. So what do I do? I start evaluation. I want to start evaluation now, but I have a license file. So I choose a file, my enterprise license, click next. And that's it. It's successful. So we can configure it now. You can click here and it will open up the OpenLM configuration tool, and we can see it here. Or we can do it using the interface itself. So if we go here and open up, let me show you. You open up the programs and you go to OpenLM. Right here you have the OpenLM user interface. Then just click that. It will open up the user interface. Now you see it opens it up with localhost. But if you want to access it from outside this machine, you just take this link and change the localhost to the machine name. So it will be Win10 demo. And then I can access it from anywhere. I can even access it from my workstation right here. Let me show you. There we go. So we have it open right here. If we'll close this and this one, we'll see we have these two ports, the 810 and the 600, these two ports ready to be configured. They're in red lines here saying approve me. So I'll just click approve. Let's say it's Autodesk. And this one, approve, will be MATLAB. Now, what do we need to do to get them configured? All we need to do is just restart the OpenLM Server service. So I open up the services, go to OpenLM Server, and just restart. Now let's refresh the page here. And it takes about between 2 to 5 minutes for everything to be configured. Now it says no broker. In a few moments, it will find everything, it will configure everything, but it takes a moment. Okay, so while this is configuring itself, let's set up the agent. So first of all, what did we do until now? Well, until now, we simply installed the broker on the OpenLM server. We installed the OpenLM core on a network server. So now all we have left is to install the agent on a workstation. Now keep in mind that the agent is optional. The broker is optional. The only mandatory thing here is the OpenLM core. But the broker itself, it allows you to get denial information. It allows you to get validated information via the debug log. It allows you to get licensing information into OpenLM. It allows you also to buffer information if the OpenLM core is down. Let's say that it's down, the broker cannot send data to it, so what does it do? It stores data within itself. So next time that there's connection with OpenLM core, it will just send everything it has in its buffer files, and you won't have gaps in your data. So this is why it's important to have the OpenLM broker on the license server. Now, the agent on the workstation gives the end user a few benefits. First of all, he can view which licenses the organization has and how many are free. If it's all taken, he can see who is using it, and he can also get notified if a license he got denied from, if the license became free. So let's say that you try to get AutoCAD, you get denied. So, well, you try to get the license again and again, right? No, the OpenLM agent helps you with that and simply notifies you when the license is available. It just pops up a notification telling you, oh, the license is available. Now, with extensions, the agent sitting on the workstation can close idling sessions. Let's say that you pulled an AutoCAD license, you opened the application, but you went home, or you're on Facebook, or maybe you're on a meeting. So that license can be used by someone else. So the agent can recognize that you're idling and you're not working on the application, and the application is not taking up any CPU or memory, and it will just save the work and close the application. But this is more suited to the extensions webinar that we have. We're not going to go over that today. We're going to go over the core product. But know that it's optional. You get extra functionality if using it. You don't lose any functionality if you don't use it. Okay, so how do we install the OpenLM agent? first of all, by the way, you see it's all connected now, but it will still take like 5 minutes to get everything, to get the licensing information and everything. Meanwhile, we'll take the agent installer. Now, where is it? Right here. So we'll take the agent installer, and just like everything else in OpenLM, you just double click, and it's a simple next operation. You see, I agree, next. Here it found out that I had AutoCAD and ArcGIS. Okay, next. Also App Manager. If we have time, I'll show you also the App Manager. And that's it. Next. And it will start installing. And this will monitor applications on my workstation. Now, that's not mandatory, but it gives you added functionality. Which functionalities does it give you? Let me show you. So I'm talking about now the core product of OpenLM. I'm not talking about any extensions. So the agent can give the users this interface that says, well, you got, let's say I need ArcGIS. I see, okay, total 15, used 12. Okay, then I can use it. But let's say that it was used 15 out of 15. So I can click on the server and I see who is using it. I see Natasha, Donald, Stanley. And if I click on them, I know exactly their email, telephone number, and everything. And I know that when they started, which workstation they're using and their username and everything, so I can call them up and say, hey, I know you've been using since 9 a.m. Can you please release the license? Now I'm doing that as an end user, so the end users can talk between themselves and figure it out. And it also notifies me if a license I was denied from gets freed up. So okay, the agent just waited for a few approvals. Now again, it's installing, very simple, just next installation process. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, will I have to go workstation by workstation and install like 200 agents? No, you won't have to do that. You can roll it out from a central place. You can set it up to install in all the connected agents or the agents that you decide on, and just silently installs it on their machine. So what do I need to do now? Because I installed it manually and not with a rollout, so I'll have to set the OpenLM server, which is, yeah, it's Win10 demo. If I check connectivity, I see it's connecting. I click apply, yes. And that's it. The OpenLM server is installed. The OpenLM agent is installed on the workstation. The OpenLM Broker is installed on the license manager. And now if we go to the EasyAdmin, to the interface of OpenLM, then we see our licenses. I see I have 1 license of Autodesk, 4 licenses of MATLAB. If I click here, oh, the files didn't get here yet, but after about 10-15 minutes, we get also the files. We can upload and download files there. Now, let's try to pull a license. After all that, we installed the broker, we installed the server, we installed the agent, and it didn't go over like 20 minutes. So let's pull an AutoCAD license. So we pulled an AutoCAD license. Now the agent transmits to the OpenLM server that I am now using the application. Now it's getting it both from the license manager. The license manager is saying, Sagi is using the application, and from the agent. So with the agent, I can do a few nifty tricks. like as I said, know the idle time of a certain session and even close that session. Now, I'm not going to go over all the configurations I'm doing now. I'll just set it up. Let's say after 3 minutes. Okay, so for those of you who missed it, what I did, just went to Start, Administration, Process Features, selected my process, selected the release method extension, and then I said if the license percentage is over, here it's 0%, but let's say it's over 99%, then start releasing licenses of people who have, let's say, 60 minutes of idle time. But just for testing purposes, I'll have it be on 0 and 3. And now let's go back and see what we see. So Autodesk right here, we see that I have one license, one used. So let's click on that. And we see myself. We'll see Reuven SG. This is me. It says that I'm using AutoCAD. Exactly. I'm part of the general group. I haven't grouped anyone yet. This is my IP. This is when I started. This is my duration. This is the server I'm using it from, and pretty much everything. Now this will show later on, in about 2 or 3 minutes, it starts showing the idle time of the application. It tells you that, oh, he's been using it 1 minute, but let's say 30 seconds of it is idle, or he's using 10 hours, but 5 hours out of that has been idling. So you probably want to do something about it. See, now it's picking up that I'm about a minute in idle state. So I can try and close my application. Just click Close App. And in about a minute or two, you should see the AutoCAD itself be closed. Say the work saved, the application closed. But anyway, you have seen how easy it is to set everything up. It hasn't been over like half an hour, and I've already installed a full OpenLM system on the license servers, on the workstation. I also installed the central OpenLM server, and that's it. You can, if you don't have OpenLM yet, you can just download it. You go to the OpenLM website. Oh, by the way, you can see here that it closed my application. So AutoCAD is closed, and I have a little message here saying that OpenLM Agent recently closed AutoCAD. If I click open, I can get the license back if I want. Now, just go to the OpenLM website, go to the downloads section, and right here you can download OpenLM for free. If you need to upgrade, you go down here and you upgrade OpenLM to the latest version. Here you can get the broker. The agent is just below that, right here. And that's it. You can use the broker for Windows if you have a license server that's Windows based, broker for Linux if you have a license server that's Linux based. Now let's go over a few configurations. Let's go over what the broker and server has. We'll take about 10 minutes, explain the different configurations and what can be done, and afterwards I'm going to leave a bit to Q&A. You ask your questions, whatever you choose. So first, let's go to the broker, and let's explain a bit about the configurations of the broker. So first of all, the OpenLM server that we configured, it's pretty much self-explanatory. You got the server name, the port that you're connecting with, the timeout, and you can activate buffering. Buffering means that all the data coming from the license server will be stored in a buffer file if the OpenLM server is down. Once the OpenLM server is up, it sends all the buffer files and all the information to OpenLM server, and then you won't have any gaps in your data. Now, under license servers, you have the port that you create, you give the port number, the license type, license server type, you set the license file, you can set it manually or not. You set it to watch the license file, watch for changes, like watch every 300 seconds. Under command, you can set the path that leads to your LMUtil. So if you set the path here, click update, it will update everything under the commands right here. Now, under vendors, you see that it's pointing to an options file, and you can watch the options file as well. Every 600 seconds, it will watch for changes in the options file. Under log file, you can set the debug log. Now, of course, that it's created automatically, it's monitored automatically, it's configured automatically. So not a lot that you need to do in this case, but if it doesn't, you just set the debug log path right here. And then you apply, restart broker, and that's about it. Now let's take a look at the configurations on the OpenLM server. So if we open up the server configuration tool, so which configurations do we have here? That's pretty easy. If we add a new port, we'll add its description, its type, the time zone. This is the time zone of the license server itself. The host name of the license server, the port of the vendor. Now, if you click here, that means that you read a license file using the broker. Now, the license file, that means the vendor supplied license file, the .leak file. So this means that you're reading a license file. If it's off, meaning that you're not reading a license file, but you are using an OpenLM broker. If you click here, then you're not using the OpenLM broker. This will bypass the OpenLM broker entirely. But again, if you use the OpenLM interface, the EasyAdmin to create those ports, then it's all created automatically. You have no issues with it. Another important one is the LDAP configuration. So you can simply create a new LDAP domain. Let's say, I don't know, this, apply changes, add a synchronization. And here we can select the node. We can select what do you want to get, the users, security groups, and we can select how to group them. So first we select default group, and we can select them to be a flat group, so everybody will be under group Germany, everybody in this synchronization under the node I selected. Or take the hierarchy of the nodes, or maybe group users by their attribute, let's say department. For example, if me and you, we have sales under our department in our Active Directory. So we'll be grouped into group sales. Whoever has support under there will be grouped into group support, and so on. Now, the last part is the advanced part. I'm not going to go over everything right here, only the important stuff. So require login credentials, meaning that you set an admin password. You set an admin name and password, and when you want to access OpenLM, you will have to access it using an admin and password. Now, you've seen that in the background right here, I got another notification, but this time it was closed due to idle sessions. I set the idle session maximal idle time to be 3 minutes, and after 3 minutes it just closed my application. It saved my work and closed my application. Anyway, back to the server. Require login credentials. You'll need to set an admin password if you want. You can just leave it unlocked. And support space in usernames. If you have usernames with space in them, then make sure to have this checked. And that's about it. You can import different configurations and export the configurations, but that's about it. In the LM tools and notifications, it's not really something that might interest you. I think it will just bore you. In notifications, generally, you can get notified when there's a new version of OpenLM. LM tools is only if you're not using a broker. If you're not using a broker, then OpenLM Server needs to be able to listen to the port somehow. So how does it do that? Using, for example, LMutil if it's FlexLM, LSMon if it's RMS, and so on. It gets the executable, uses that executable to talk to the license server. But if you have a broker, you shouldn't care about that. And that's about it. I really don't want to overload you with information. We already went over installation and configuration of OpenLM. We even saw a few extensions of OpenLM, the save and close and all that. There are many more components which I'm not going to go over today, like the app manager, the report scheduler, the router. But the core product is this, is 15 minutes of installation, and you got your system up and running. Might be in half an hour, depending on how many licensed servers you have. But it's a very quick installation. You saw it's just double click, next, next, next. That's it. Just need to know where to install what, and it pretty much configures automatically. And that's it. If you have any questions, you want to know anything about things that you've seen in the webinar, maybe about other things relating to OpenLM, then take the stage. You can use the GoToWebinar tool to ask a question. There's like a chat box, a questions box. You can ask a question there. I'll be happy to answer. So go ahead. I'll give you a few minutes. Yes, John. There is a way to get reports scheduled from OpenLM. This will require you to install the OpenLM report scheduler. You can download it from the website, from the OpenLM website, and just install it. Again, it's just click next installation. Real simple. You just have to install it on the same place where the OpenLM server is installed. So if you go to the download section, it should be right here. Go down, you see the OpenLM report scheduler. You can simply download, use it. It's a free extension. Yes, Mark. The save and close option that you saw. Now this is limited only for FlexLM, SolidWorks, MATLAB, and ArcGIS. But if you're using other FlexLM applications like NX, for example, Siemens NX, then you can use the suspend release method, which suspends the application and releases the license. If the user wants to reuse the application, then he simply clicks a button, the license is taken back, and the application is thawed out, is unfrozen. But if you're not using a FlexLM and you're using DSLS or whatever, then you can use agent procedures, which just simply kills the process outright, or you can just simply run like a custom command to have like a notification popping up on the end user workstation saying that, I don't know, hey, you've been using for quite a while and you've been idling for quite a while. Please remember to put back your license when you finish work, or something along those lines. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Oh yes, Brett, if you have a question, you can write it down in the chat box if you want. Can you briefly talk about the product package setup? Product package setup, what do you mean by that? Let me open this up. Now, in admin, okay. I see that, let me explain from the top. So first of all, the products and packages, we get the packages themselves, which packages you have, which features you have, and all that, we get from the OpenLM Broker. If you don't have OpenLM Broker installed on the license server, you won't be able to see that information. So it will need to be configured right here under the port, license file path. You'll have to get the license file there, because in the license file we see the packages, the increments, and everything. Now, once it gets to OpenLM itself, then you will be able to see it in product packages. For example, if we go to Start, Administration, Product Packages, then you see all the products and packages and everything. But let's say that you want to change that, then you can just double click on it and you just change it. You can say is fixed, so nothing will change it. It will remain, this feature will have this product name. So I'm not going to change that now, but anyway, you can change the name if you'd like. You can even search for it here. AutoCAD, for example, you want to change it, you can, whatever you choose. Now, where are we getting all the packages? All the packages, because I opened this and I see some packages that I don't have. I don't have a second, third pack. I don't have all those. So where is it from? All the products and packages come from, if we go to the server configuration tool, go to where the OpenLM server is installed, we go to the server configuration tool. Now, let's go to the advanced right here and update feature packages, update product features. Just click on that and update, click on that and update. It takes a moment, but it updates from a website. So if you don't have connection to the internet from your OpenLM server machine, then you'll need to get it as a file. You can contact us, the OpenLM support team. We can issue you the file. But if you can, it's better to do it from this website, or just get the file from the website itself and just put it manually here, whatever you choose. So again, here and here, they allow you to see all the packages and all the products and all the feature names and everything right here. And with that, you can see in the reports themselves. So if I go to, well, let's go to a demo system I have. And we'll try to see it there. Okay, so if I go to some report, let's say license usage report, and if I click here, then I see the product names. So I want to show reports on this feature, then I can choose a product name that's a bit more intelligible, like this. I cannot understand what this is, but I do understand what this is. So this is how we can use it. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Brett. No problem. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. I hope it was informative for you. I hope that you learned a bit about OpenLM, how to install it, how to configure it. Mainly that you saw that it's not a lot of work. Real quick, you can have the whole system set up. If I didn't have to explain everything and show you configurations and all that, if it wasn't a webinar and it was just installing on your system, about half an hour and you got your whole system set up. Now, this is something that really sets us apart from from competitors. Okay, so thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.